Yo, what is good, yo? It's your boy Ty back here with another episode of our Extreme Makeover My Team Edition, where you guys send in your squads, tell me how much MT you have, current gen or next gen, and I kind of adjust them. Now, remember, over 400 entries were submitted, or 400 people replied to my tweet. I only do 7 or 8 per video, so that means you basically have there's only 2% of squads that I will ultimately do, but hopefully there's some squads in here or some positions in here where you're looking for a specific player, and hopefully I can give you some good advice on that. Now, before we dive any deeper, if you are new to my channel and have not yet, please consider smashing that subscribe button as we are on the road to 60,000 subscribers. So this first squad here was sent in by Jeremy, who is on current gen. Says he has 100k MT to work with, and there's a lot of pluses or a lot of upside to this squad. Let's just start with the guys I like, and I'm gonna move them to the starting lineup. I like Tyrese Halliburton, AK, I like Obi Toppin, I like Maxi, I don't like Bradley Beal on current gen at all. So I'm just gonna start right there and replace him with Malik Sealy. Now, if you do this, your starting lineup is looking very, very solid. Now, guys on the bench, I like Richard Dumas, and I mean, that's really about it. Bruce Bowen is fine. He's not a guy that's gonna kill you, but at the same time, I don't love the card. And so that's the thing between him and Zach LaVine. I'm just gonna leave Bruce Bowen because he is free. And then I'm gonna tell you to pick up a guy I absolutely love, Andrew Wiggins. Actually, I was gonna leave him, but I'm gonna pick up Leon Simmons, a guy I think on even current gen is just a little bit better than Bruce Bowen. So now your squad's starting to look a little bit better. Your point guard, I don't love Donovan Mitchell. I'm just gonna go with what the community says. The community loves Kirk Heinrich. I don't even know if he's on. Is he not on here? Okay, plug in Kirk Heinrich right here. I don't know why it's not popping up. But yeah, pretend this is Kirk Heinrich right here. I don't know, again, why he's not going to pop up. But pretend that's Kirk Heinrich. Plug it in there. And then at the center position, I have no hesitation who I'm going with. Diamond Sean Kemp. I think he is going to give you a little bit of upside over Dina Raja. Now, once you do this, your squad is going to look a lot better. I had to switch to 2K database, obviously, because 2KMT Central didn't have the newest update. But next squad was sent in by nycmade, and looking at this squad, he says he has 650,000 MT to work with, is grinding for Danny Ferry, and obviously he's on current gen. So, with this current squad, here's what I see. I don't like Clyde Drexler. Outside of Clyde, I like what you're working with overall as far as your squad is concerned. Now, one guy I would look to add, I don't know who for necessarily, but if you have 650k MT, I mean, the guy I'm looking to add is Wilt Chamberlain. I'll be the first to say it. Like, I personally love Wilt Chamberlain. You know, I guess for his budget, is he better than Dirk? Maybe not, but I just love what Wilt Chamberlain can bring on the defensive end. So that's a possible option, okay? But the big concern I have here is at the shooting guard position. That's kind of the position I would focus on the most. If you are on current gen, the guy I recommend the most is DeMar DeRozan. Now, after that, another kind of maybe suggestion I have is eventually, it's hard because I think Zion, if you like Zion, obviously he can rock out, but I think Wilt is more worth his price than Zion. So ultimately what I would maybe do if you want to keep around the same amount of MT, plug in Wilt there, plug in a guy like Andre Kirilenko here if you do want to remain around that same price range. That's just an option you do have. Obviously, I do think Zion and AK are kind of comparable. Like, I personally on current gen actually prefer AK-47, so that's why I am going to make that change. But you make those changes right there, and at least for me, I would have a lot more success with this squad. Next squad here was sent in by my guy EJ on Twitter. It says he has 760,000 MT to work with and doesn't want to go below 600,000, which is fine. That is absolutely fine. Now, with this squad, what I personally see is on current gen is I love his starting lineup. If you're on current gen, there's not a guy in his starting lineup that I can be like, okay, I don't like him. Now, with his bench, Dwayne Wade, say what you want, is fine. You want to run Dwayne Wade at this stage of 2K, you absolutely can. I don't have a problem with Dwayne Wade. Bradley Beal, on the other hand, I might have a little bit of a problem with. Now, here's a simple adjustment. Just take Bradley Beal out. If you're on current gen, plug in Malik Sealy. It's as simple as that. The only other recommendation I would have is taking out Anton Jameson and plugging in AK-47. Those two simple adjustments make your bench that much better. And honestly, I don't I don't really see a flaw in this squad in specifically. If you want to maybe upgrade your backup point guard, eventually you can. But with the burst in the game, Dwayne Wade is absolutely fine on current gen. This next squad here was sent in by my guy Beanbag on Twitter. Says he is on current gen and has 400k MT to work with. He says make the best squad possible. Spend all the MT if you have to. Okay, look, you want me to do that? I will. And we're going to start here with the backup center position. Now, listen. I'm not one to sit here and spend a lot of MT if it's not needed. But at the backup center position, I am going to plug in Dirk Nowitzki. I think he is a big upgrade, and you don't even have to get the hero Dirk over Maxi Kleber. Say whatever you want. I really, truly do. Now, I'm not going to spend up on Wilt, Kareem, those types of guys. But I will spend up on a guy like Dirk. So that's the first adjustment I'm going to make. Second adjustment, get Joakim Noah out of here and plug in Chris Webber. After you do those first two things, your squad is a lot better. Now, again, I know Kirk Heinrich's kind of, he's okay. Kirk Heinrich's good. But give me Tyrese Haliburton every day of the week just because of his length, versatility on the court. So those are my first three adjustments. And then next, you're still going to have a decent amount of MT to work with. So there's a lot of different routes you can specifically go. One route I would personally go is replacing Simmons with Wiggins. And then after that, the only other thing I would do, choose one. Richard Dumas, Hakeem Ward, keep one, send one or sell one to the auction house, and plug in Galaxy Opal AK-47. After those adjustments, there's nothing else I would do. I think with LaMelo Ball at that starting four, you don't really need Tyrese Haliburton to do much. So that's just kind of the why I'm piecing those pieces together like that. And then on your bench, obviously, you got Sealy and Hakeem Wark, a lot of Hall of Fame showtime. I really do love this squad that I built you. Hopefully, you put it to good use. This next squad here is sent in by my guy Stanky on Twitter. Says he has 120,000 MT to work with. He does like the drive and kick offense in a 5-out type of setting, hence why he is running Magic Johnson. Now, with this squad starting lineup, what am I supposed to sit here and say? The dude's got an incredible starting lineup. There's not much I can sit there and say. On his bench, there's one piece I don't necessarily love. I guess there's two pieces because I don't love Richard Dumas. So that's one piece I don't necessarily love. But Bruce Bowen's ultimately got to go. And I was looking at the small forward shooting guard position. Who can I plug in here to really make his squad a lot better? And the guy that came to my mind is Chris Mullin, right? He's a guy that really came to my mind is, you like the drive and kick offense. And Chris Mullin is going to knock down shots at an insane rate. So that's the one guy I have kind of to suggest for your specific squad. Other than that, the only other person I would try to get is Andre Kirilenko for that bench instead of Dumas. But outside of that, there's not much I would change. I like your squad a lot. I like what you got going on. And I do think Chris Mullin will fit your playstyle. This next squad was sent in by my guy Sparrow on Twitter. Says he has 100k to spend, and he really said, I need to know where to spend up on, or what position to spend up on. And really, when looking at this lineup, it's pretty easy for me. You got Tyrese Haliburton at the one. He's fine. He's solidified. He said that he didn't want to sell DeRozan because he's his favorite player. That's fine. DeRozan's good. Millsap, Ferry, Jaren. Perfect starting lineup. Your bench is where things get a little shaky because outside of your shooting guard, small forward positions, you could upgrade your point guard, you could upgrade your power forward, and you could upgrade your center. But what I think definitely needs the most attention is that backup point guard position. Now, I've used Emmanuel Quickly. I don't love the card. And that's nothing against Emmanuel Quickly. He's a decently fun card to use. But he's not really that good. And I don't want to necessarily say that you have to necessarily do what I'm suggesting, but I'm telling you guys all that this Chris Webber is a perfect guy to fit into any team for 100k. The reason I say that is because, yes, he's going to eventually lose value, but he is so valuable right now, not only for, a typical person in Unlimited, but also for the competitive type scene. He's a card a lot of people do end up using. So I just think that's where I would really focus on upgrading is that backup point guard position. And where I would lean is towards picking up Galaxy Opal C-Web. This next squad here was sent in by my guy Jaden on Twitter. Says he has 200k MT to work with, and his bench it doesn't need a lot of work. It just needs a little bit of retuning, refining up. Again, 200k, as simple as this. Get Russ out of there, plug in Chris Webber. That's 100k. That's only half of what else we're going to do. Junior Bridgman, you were fine for a time, but now, since he's on current gen, just plug in Malik Sealy. You're going to have a lot more success with him. Clay's even fine right there, PG, Giannis, AD. Starting line is fine. Your bench is even fine now. There's not anything you necessarily need to do with your bench. Now, Makeo's a free card, so he's fine. Julius Randle, Obi Toppin, Malik Sealy's good. Chris Webber is solid. The next thing I would really go for is the addition of, it's tough because your shooting guard position isn't the strongest. So maybe that's the next position I would kind of recommend you to try to upgrade. Maybe that upgrade is the Galaxy Opal out of position Kevin Durant at some point. But with your squad the current way it is, even if you want to downgrade AD or even put in Dirk instead of AD, I think that's a decent option as well. But this way your squad is set up currently, I think this is about as good as you can make it. The last squad for today is one that is going to do it's going to be a little bit of work, but it was sent in by Jacob, who's on current gen, has 61,000 MT to work with. Says he is close to John Wall. So Jacob, do whatever it takes. Go get yourself a John Wall. All right, and after you do that, then we can really work some things out. So go get yourself John Wall, and then really your starting lineup's fine. I'm not gonna adjust that starting lineup any more. But that bench, we're gonna use the 61K. It's gonna start with Kelly Oubre Jr. The dude, I mean, he's okay. But at the end of the day, he's not nearly as good as Malik Sealy. And Malik doesn't cost enough, in which it's like, okay, something that I'm truly, really worried about. Now, the next thing is Don O's fine. Jarrett Culver. It really comes down to Jarrett Culver, Sidney Wicks, and Boogie Cousins. Which one of those guys do I think not necessarily needs to be replaced, but could be replaced? And I don't mind Boogie Cousins. I don't think he's as good as, some of the other budget options such as a Cat. But I don't think that's really a necessity. My best recommendation for you is right now, after all this, you're probably going to have right around 50,000 MT. My best recommendation is to just keep saving up, because there's not really any budget cards that are going to be game changing. I can tell you to pick up Andrew Wiggins. I can tell you to pick up Karl-Anthony Towns, but neither one of those cards are really going to be enough to really help your squad out that much. So after you pick up John Wall, pick up Malik Sealy, the next suggestion I have for you is just really start saving up on that MT count. That is going to wrap it up for our last squad today. I hope you guys did ultimately enjoy it. If you didn't see your squad, hopefully some of my suggestions went over and can carry over to your squad as well, guys. Drop a like on the video, subscribe if you are new, and as always, man, I love you guys, and have a blessed day.